The children in our country are being made to be the victim of a situation they are not involved, and then sent to a foster home where they again are reintroduced to trauma of being the odd ball. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem. George Washington never thought of children as pawn in the game of freedom and American values, and never had he wanted to sell them. They were from his maker, his creator. Our children are being run down for no other reason than the profits being made in some way. Somehow these government agencies make money hand over fist day in and day out. They have you go to classes that they are billing for, and there is no viable reason for you to attend. Yet when you hear an update, CPS tells you that you're further away from when you started. Reunification is your goal, not theirs. And after you go through 12+ months of grueling, painstaking classes and meetings, all while getting the slimmest amount of time to visit your child, and even worst, you are always supervised. Never alone again with your child. It's awful. How do they feel, do you think?
Where's the outrage? Why is nobody standing up for these families being torn apart by CPS?
Please don't tell me you're going to put all your bets on this superhero. You grown-ups are supposed to be coming to his rescue. Stop ignoring this problem. There is nothing more I can say to any of you. Please fight CPS and help those who have lost so much they can help themselves.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS, and AbolishCPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right, everybody, welcome to CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. I am your host of the evening, the CPS Punisher. That was really weird to say. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Vinny. I'm your host, the CPS Punisher, and it is Friday night. That means that we're just minutes away from a grand weekend, and hopefully we have a free weekend of CPS. Don't forget, we have the chat right up here. Boom. Somewhere here. Let me put it up. Bang, right there. We get the chat right here. Please, we welcome your comments. If you guys have questions about what's going on, if you need to ask us things that we can help you with, don't forget we're not lawyers, but we know a hell of a lot about this. We've been around CPS for a minute now, and I like to think that we're pretty skilled in the art of CPSing. This is getting crazier and crazier as these laws are being passed and overturned by the Supreme Court. And I'd like to talk real briefly again about what the Chevron case, what that meant to us in the fight. The Chevron case did was it allowed government agencies to come in and use their influence to have cases swayed in their direction. For instance, if you would be in a case and the judge would say, Mr. X and Mr. Y, Mrs. Y, I would like to not have you, I think that you guys are good parents, but per the department, we can't allow this, so we're going to terminate your rights. Well, now the courts are taking those influences out and putting more of the law back into the courts. Now, of course, in the district courts, we know that that's a rogue, wild, wild west, and these judges are doing whatever they want. So we're not sure how that will play out, but definitely on the upper scale courts, the superior courts, and higher, where they actually do practice law, that will make a difference in your cases. So hopefully, if you guys are in these cases right now, and CPS is trying to put the hammer to you and put the pressure on you by saying that their statutes and rules and all of that override the judge's thoughts of the law, well, that's going to be wrong from this point out. They're not allowed to just use their own opinions and their own measures any longer. So that's what, if you guys have been listening to, that's a short version of what went on there, and it really will start to make a big difference. Now, as far as retroactive, I don't know. Someone had asked me a question about that. I don't know how that works. If when they pass something like that, if you can take it back. I mean, that would be great if we can, because how many of us heard our rights were terminated or something went on because of because the department says, or per the department, it's a terrible thing to hear, because that caseworker right there, that GAL that's right there, all of those people that are right there, they never wanted you back with your family to begin with, and that's in a lot of cases. It's very easy to spot those things. So just that's a little bit of knowledge. Make sure if you have an attorney and you're in the appeals court, or even if you're in the district courts, try to get that forced on there. But the district court is a whole different beast. They're their own little entity, playing their own little games and their own little rules, that's about the size of that. But I'm going to bring out Vinny right now. Vinny's back here waiting for me. Vinny, how we doing, buddy?
Good evening, Howard.
Yeah, hey, the Lone Riders right now. It's Friday night. Everybody's probably running a little behind, going grocery shopping and doing whatever they do in their real lives. But that's all right. How you been, Benny? You got anything good today? You got any good news? Any bad news? Any new news? Any news at all?
No, it's been pretty quiet today, which was surprising, because I would have thought that I would have heard from my criminal attorney at least, to see if he got the motions that I set forth, but I haven't heard nothing back on that yet.
Well, sometimes they say no news is good news, buddy.
Yeah. I think Herbert needed a link, but I sent him the one I got, but I don't know if it worked.
Yeah, I sent him. I sent Herbert a link too, but I don't know what I sent it to him on Messenger and on his phone, so he should be You should be all set. So, Vinny, what do you think about rules and regulations and statutes? Are there any of them that stick out in your head that you're like, man, I wish that I would have known this, or I wish that I would have paid more attention to this in my case? Well, I mean, you're still in your case, so. But is there anything that sticks out, like urine screens or any of that type stuff?
As far as their procedures and policies, I was noticing that, they don't follow through with what they have to say, really, because on the state's CPS page and their procedures and policies, they state that when a criminal investigation is taking place and that they're supposed to be contacting the non-offending parent of a CAC video, they're not following that policy. They have failed to do it twice.
In your situation?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then I was looking down through and I seen that, they have another policy where they apt to reunify, and they're not even following that throughout Maine. Hi, right. Operation Wipes Tears.
Who's you, Vinny? Oh, there you are.
That's probably one of my friends that I may have invited. Maybe, I think.
Oh yeah. I just thought you were gone. I didn't know where you went.
But yeah, no, they're not following through with their policies and their procedures at all.
No, and they don't. You know what? I think that if you look in the Maine Ombudsman report or the Government Oversight Committee report, you can see that that's a clear indication that they don't. This isn't anything that they're following suit with, and that's very clear. Because first of all, no matter where you go or what DHS, CPS, DHHS, DHR, RPG, any of these things that you have going on, man, you have the right to reunification, and they're not giving us that opportunity. I feel like immediately when they take you into their little circle in their realm, I feel like they are just immediately putting you to the irons in the fire, and you're not getting reunified. I feel like you got to have an uphill battle to get reunified, and it's not supposed to be that way. Reunification is supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be intrusive. It's supposed to correct problems that you have in your household that makes it unfit for you to have a child, and all of this doing while most of what they expect is the child to be in the home, man. Not take your kid away. Why are you going to try to fix something in a family bond in a whole system like that, but you do it by separating everything? That makes no sense. Like, that is an absolute backwards measure.
Hi, Carrie. I see Carrie's in here, and Operation said that DHS kidnapped my boy and girl while traveling through. I don't know where that is.
Herb on the hotline. Hold on a minute. Herb. Hello.
Based on false allegations. Yeah, they usually do that too.
Invite to the show. You have one on your messenger?
Operation, they really don't care about
what do you mean
violations of your rights. They will take your kids on falsified allegations. They did it in my case. So they don't care. They don't have any regard for nothing. You're from Oklahoma.
Holy Christ. Hey,
yeah, they have no regards to constitutional rights. They have no regards to your rights, period. They do not care. The only thing you can do is keep fighting. Don't give up. Find a good attorney, not one you're going to pay, because a lot of the ones that you're going to pay for aren't going to do their job. They'll file one or two motions, and then after that, they do nothing. Court-appointed attorneys, they ain't going to represent you the way you expect them to.
Show, okay? I'll get you your link. Penny even sent me.
They go by what they see. So if they can't see that you have an issue, you can represent yourself pro se in court.
All I do is touch the link and I'm in.
Learn your court
Me, I'll be right back.
documents. Yep. Learn your court documents, learn all of your court files. In any aspect of this, it's going to help you. Exactly, Carrie. Get as much knowledge as you can. So whatever they got you for, then use that. Go back and ask for that record. You always want to request your record. You have a right to both records, the CPS record and the court documents. And you want all of them. You do not want them to have anything against you. So you need to go back through those records and see what's in there. Because if they're falsifying information, you can pull it up. It's in that record. Fundamental law. Hey, Ash. Try it again. I know Darren's trying to do something in the background. He is here, so try again, Ash. I don't have my permission screen open, so I can't add you. It's on something else.
Where is she?
Ashley said she tried to jump in.
I'm trying to put my name in. I can't.
They say I have to pay for a record. No, you do not. That is against the law. You do not have to pay for your record. You do have to file a motion to get that record, but you do not have to pay to get your record. That is bogus bullcrap. If they're charging you for documents, that's against the law. Look it up. That's being unconstitutional. It's okay, Ash. We all have. Well, I'm a nerd, so I don't really have computer problems. That's why I do it through my phone, because it's easier to do it through my phone and go live here on my phone than my computer. So much less lag. No, they should not be charging you. Right. Yeah, exactly what Carrie said. If they're trying to set, you can file as you're broke, and they can't charge you. And to charge you for your record, that's no. At least up here in Maine, they give you your records. They have to, by law, and they cannot charge you. So for them to be charging you, that's kind of asinine, really. There's something wrong there if they're trying to charge you for your record. Just be aware, though, that some states are now they are using now a AI system, and this AI system pulls your entire file and records into it. UCS just can't hear us. Are you in the back room? That means Darren has to hit you to get you to come out live with us.
All right, here I am. Who's all right?
I think Ashley's in the back room.
Yeah, the only people that are here right now are me and you, man. For some reason, there's something going on because Herbert's link wasn't working and Ashley was having the same issue. But and I saw Ashley in there earlier. It showed her up there with the A on the screen. She was there. And I don't know where Herbert is right now. Why this is being such a... I don't know. Let's see, you guys. I just don't hear you. I try to keep two browsers open so I can hear, but no luck.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because it always goes through for me, but I'm in Google Chrome, so...
Yeah, I use Chrome also, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, back at the ranch. So what were we talking about, Vinny? What were we
Well,
talking about? What did I miss?
I was trying to answer some questions. Because operations said that they're trying to charge her for her records through the court.
No, so what she's got to do for that, first of all, is either one, if you're I'm so frazzled right now, I can't think of the word. If you're indigent, first of all, there's that. But also to get your records from the court, go in under the American with Disabilities, go under the ADA, and what you tell them is that you have a communications problem. They're not allowed to ask you anything. If they do ask you what your communications problem is, you get them by a HIPAA violation, and you get, that's your right to keep your medical stuff quiet. But they have to give you your records and everything for free. They can't charge you. So go in there, tell them, use the ADA, tell them that you have a communications problem, and they will have to give you your records for free. Don't ever let them. And that all that stuff goes the same with if you're filing your court fees. Either go with the indigent paperwork, or try to supplement it with an ADA filing, again, using like a communications problem. And again, I reiterate, they're not allowed to ask you what that is. So if they ask you what your issue is, then they're in big, big trouble. So, all right, Ashley made it in.
Awesome.
Ashley, you're here. You made it. Oh, sounds like she crashed. Ashley, do you hear us?
Ashley.
That's right, Carrie. Just like that. You're absolutely right. Just file as you're indigent. I won't say it quite the way that you said it, but what's going on with the Operation White Tears? What are they saying going on in her case? Ashley, do you hear us? I hear Ashley has some noise coming through.
She said that they took her kids while she was driving through Oklahoma.
Oh, really? I've had 2 indigent attorneys. They did nothing. Yeah, they won't. Yeah, absolutely. You're more than welcome to come on the show. Listen, you got to remember that your public pretenders, first of all, any attorney or any lawyer or any of those guys that are representing you, their first loyalties are to the courts, and that's upheld in their I forget the you know what, I'm gonna pull that up for you guys right here. That's in their JD,
attorneys are their first obligation is to the court system. They are not obligated to the client. They are obligated to the court and must abide by the court. So which means you as the client needs to do your own fact-finding documents and your own court orders and your own motions. Because they're not going to file all the motions for you. They can't under working for the judges. They cannot.
Yeah, it's under the jurisprudence.
Yes, jurisprudence.
Let's see. I couldn't believe it when this was said to me, and I didn't believe it at first, but then I did my research, and it's I'll be hell in high water, man. It's true. Let me see here. Where did I find it? It's right here. This is this guy, the Lawful Patriot. We're trying to get him on the show with us. Let me see here. Where is it?
Correct. They are a team. Yep, that is right. And they use the jurisprudence against you because the judges control the attorneys.
Check this dude out. Yeah, check this guy out, Lawful Patriot, on TikTok. He's quite a machine. Where is it? I'm just looking for this video real quick to play. This is it right here.
Okay, so Herbert's issue is he can't get the screen to pop up for the camera.
Yeah, I think he has that issue earlier.
You have to enable the setting to do it. Herbert, I don't know if you can hear me, but you have to enable the settings in your browser.
He's getting angry. I don't know if you heard that on our phone call,
Oh yeah.
but he was definitely not happy. So apologize for that. Apologize to all of you for this. You know, at least we're adding a little bit of difference to this. You can see the difficulties we run into from time to time. Just like right now, me trying to find this video.
Actually, he disappeared on us, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're having a good time with what we're doing, Vinny. I'm going to stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and pay attention to what these people want.
Herbert, you have to allow the browser in your browser. It has to find your camera and your mic. You have to enable it. That's why I use Chrome, because it automatically searches for it.
Yeah. Oh, this might be on here.
But yeah, Operation. You have to fight against them.
You need to make sure that you do your homework and do your fighting for yourself, because they're not going to do it for you. And here's another thing that you need to realize. This is very important for everybody. Make sure that when you're putting your case together, that you guys are fighting for the appeal. So what that means is make sure that you get everything that you can on the record. That way you have something to argue when you go into the appeal. Because what these court-appointed attorneys are good at doing is not putting anything in your files. You don't have any evidence in your files. You know, there's missing documents, there's things, because what happens is people don't get it. When you go to the appeals, it's not that you get another chance at a trial. That's not what it is at all. You're not even arguing any of the points that you had before. What it is you get to argue what was heard and the laws that were, that the laws and the fairness of your trial that you had. So you can't bring up new information at a appeal. You can't bring up information that happened at the trial and argue, oh, well, they said this and this. Doesn't work that way. You can only argue factual and lawful information at an appeal. Everything else is no good. So if you don't have that information or whatever you're trying to argue, if that wasn't mentioned at your trial, then it's no bueno. You don't get to mention it at the appeal. So make
That's
sure
right,
that
Gary.
Dump stuff in that record. You tell your attorney to put every bit of evidence that you have in that record. That way you do have something to base your appeal off of. Because if you don't, it's your appeals. That's why so many CPS appeals are lost.
That's why you always need to screenshot, record. You want everything that they say. You want everything that they have to email you. You want it all. So you got document proof against them.
Yep.
Trust me, I have over 900 messages in my phone of all documented screenshots of emails and everything.
Yeah, here's another good pointer, and I know you said it, Vinny, but make sure that don't talk on the phone, don't text, email. Do everything via email. Don't talk to them any extra, don't anything if they want to communicate with you. And here's the other part. Make sure you CC that to someone, whether it's your lawyer, whether it's your friend, your neighbor, whoever. Make sure somebody else gets a copy of everything that you guys are emailing back and forth. That way that there can't be any he said, she said crap. There can't be any of that, this missing, this is missing, because someone else has seen this and then they can vouch for you in court. Because a lot of times they'll say, well, I didn't get this email from this person, or I didn't get this, or I didn't get that. You're like, no, because if Joe Blow down the road got it, then so did you. So you can't.
God bless Operation. Have a good night and have a good couple. Have a good day at work or night. You probably work the night shift.
Yeah, I don't know where this video is. I have no idea. No freaking clue, man. I've just gone through about 10,000 of them and I haven't found it. But anyway, I know it's.
That's a new one, Carrie. I I didn't know you could actually file the status update beforehand. But that's good. To see that, because they still haven't had my Jeopardy hearing yet. I'm still waiting for the Jeopardy
Well,
hearing.
you're supposed to be going for that 6 months, aren't you? Or
I'm
3
over that.
months.
We're 9 months in.
So then, how come you're not getting? You're not having your attorney file for due process?
Because we have no attorneys.
Well, then guess what, Vinny, you should be filing for due process.
I already did. I already filed under Title 18 USC.
Yeah, that's a tough catch too. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. Those codes, you got to remember, man, you're in district court. They don't care about that stuff.
They don't
care about
apply. They don't apply in district court. They apply in the federal court, which is good to have, but
you're not in federal court.
Right. So we are currently working on the motion for dismissal. At least in the first part of the case, anyways.
So here's another good thing. You know how they frown upon the Constitution, right? When you're bringing up constitutional arguments and everything in the district courts.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you another life-changing piece of information right here. Parallel your state constitution with the federal constitution. The district court has to abide by the state's constitution because they've sworn an oath to the state's constitution. They're married to the state's constitution. They have to rule by the state's constitution. So if you can find in your state's constitution the right that you're fighting for, or whatever, your freedom of speech, any of that stuff, find it in your state's constitution, and they have to abide by the state's constitution side of the argument. They can't just pass it off like they try to do with the Constitution itself, which is really sickening because the Constitution is supposed to be the law of the land.
And it's not. At least not up here, it's not. I've noticed that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's another reason why
I mean,
so
even in their Supreme Court up here, then people don't know how to answer questions either, because I've called and tried to talk to them about the indictment that they have, and they would not answer me.
Well, I don't know if they're going to answer questions like that over the phone.
Well, they wouldn't even answer me where it was pushed from. And I asked that specific question. I said, where did this come from? And they wouldn't answer it. And then I finally seen it on the documentation that it came from CPS. They're the ones that yeah. Oh yeah. So they were the ones that issued it to the state.
Wow.
They're very sick individuals. That's all I have to say about that.
It takes a very special kind of person to be what they do. Hey, Vinny, you know what else? You know what else people don't realize? It's the Division of Family Services, right?
Yep. Okay. And then up here,
whoa. Slow down. What did I just say to you?
Division of Family Services. They're supposed to be for us.
What words are in that, what I just told you?
Division
of Family.
Right.
It's supposed to be reunification, right?
Right, but there isn't.
They're already in their department, what they are and what they're doing to you, man. They're already the Division of Family Services. They practice in dividing you, not reunifying.
Right, and they don't reunify.
12% chance, man. You got a 12% chance of reunification when you get your kids taken.
Carrie said she emailed you a link on Hunting Justice email.
Okay. All right. Does she want to come on the show right now?
Carrie can't come on the show. Come on now.
Carrie, you want to come in? Is that what the link you sent me was? What was the link for? I missed it. Tiffany, Wicked Warrior swears by it. It shows you involvement and gives your accomplishments on the record. Helps with just what Darren was just talking about. Perfect. All right, Brooke. Brooke's in the house. There she is. Brooke figured it out. Yeah, Brooke, you're in. You're one of the ones that make it. Sweet. How are you?
Yes. I'm always
Well, good
late, but
evening,
worth the
Brooke.
wait. Good evening. Always late, but worth the wait.
Yeah.
Better late than never. Everybody was having a hard time logging in, I guess. I don't know what was going on there.
It kicked me out. I was logged in once, and then it kicked me out, but I came back, and now I'm good.
Ah.
No, I was just going to
So how you
add to
doing,
that.
Brooke? Any good news?
No, not really. We are operating in commerce courts. That's why they don't care about any of these constitutions. There's only 3 constitutional courts in the United States.
Right. Yep.
That's why when you go into court and you're screaming about your constitutional rights being violated, they laugh at you because they don't care. They're business courts, commerce courts.
Right. They don't care.
Actually, they're not even that. They're operating under admiralty.
Okay.
That I have found out. It states it that they're operating under admiralty.
So what's the difference between all that?
Admiralty, well, is the law of the ocean.
Okay. I didn't know that the ocean had laws.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah.
3 miles. Only 3 miles out.
Interesting.
But you hear what I was saying about the Constitution? That if you go and you match your state's Constitution with your federal Constitution, they have to take that into consideration, and they have to recognize that your rights under your state's Constitution are valid. They don't have to with the Constitution of the United States, but the district courts and such have to recognize your state's. So when you're trying to make a constitutional argument, I tell those people all the time, they don't listen. Find what you're looking for in your state's constitution to match what your argument is for your federal constitution, and they will have to take that argument. You know, everybody tries to make it a big deal in a constitutional argument. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. I don't know why people don't listen.
That's all right, Herbert. You still can be in the chat, and you still can talk to us. So I'm seeing everything you're saying.
Right. So are you saying that the state's constitution almost in sense trumps the Constitution?
No.
Now it doesn't trump it, but they have to recognize it. So like in the courtrooms, they'll try to argue this isn't a constitutional court, yada yada yada. You got to file for a constitutional argument, all that stuff. But if you pull the state's constitution out, they have to abide by the rules of that because they've sworn an oath to the state, and the state employs them. So they have to take.
They don't federally swear?
You can also use their policies and procedures against them, Brooke.
Yes.
If you can go through their policies and procedures and see what they have not done and pull that out of that policy, you can use it in your case against them.
Yep. That's the best way.
Still don't. First, like in the state of Maine, urine screens are not supposed to be used against you in decisions such as visitation, termination of parental rights, any of those big type decisions. Urine screens are not supposed to be a determining factor. They're not even supposed to be used in making those decisions. However, what's the number one thing? You skip urine screens up here, bang, they're taking away your visits. They take away everything from you. They're not allowed to do that. Take it to court. The other thing is the only person that can take away your visits is a judge. Unless it's a imminent danger, paramount that you can't see your kid, the judge is the only one that can remove your visits.
Yep.
But the DHS will say you can't visit your kid anymore, and that's it. And your lawyer will just sit back and say, oh, well, whatever, we're not going to do this. But that's another thing. That's another one of those things that people just don't push for it. They don't fight for it.
Yeah, I did, Herbert.
I didn't get to see my kid for 3 months after they took him because I wouldn't sign their supervision guidelines and I wouldn't sign a case plan. They withheld my son from me. I didn't have no visits, no contact, nothing for 3 months after they took him.
Okay, so
how is that not extortion?
I know. They're dangling him above my head until I would sign. I still never signed a case plan. To this day, I still never signed a case plan.
Neither did I.
Was contracting with them.
Neither did I. I never signed their damn case plan.
No, I didn't need a case plan.
If that's the case,
yep.
If that's the case, then you have no contract with them. And then a lot of this is contract law also.
Yep.
So if you have no contract law, you have no viable contract, then it is extortion. Especially if they're holding your child against you for not signing a contract.
Yep.
I mean, because that's what they're basing all this off of is contract law.
Yep.
Now there are some that say that when you talk with them, if you answer text messages, if you do certain things with them, then you validate their contract. That's almost like jurisdiction. If you don't claim certain jurisdictions in the first 1 or 2 times you've gone to court, maybe only the first time in some of them, there's a couple of them that are over time. They're not timed out. You can use like subject matter jurisdictions, one of them. But I think personal jurisdiction is the one that you can't challenge, because once you go into court and you accept the fact that the court had you there and you were that person, you can't challenge it again. However, but like I said, subject matter jurisdiction, you always have time to challenge that. It's unlimited. So there's that too.
What would be an
So-
example of subject jurisdiction?
So I want to run something by some of you because I've been seeing some things that Herbert sent me today, and I want to see what you guys have to think about this. Okay, if you were out in say like Arizona, okay, and it's hot, but it's
Right.
not like a regular kind of hot. It's a hot that will hit you and like dehydrate you in minutes. So would you leave your would you leave your kid in a 115-degree car for 30 minutes?
Hell no.
No.
That's asinine.
What do you think should happen to that parent?
Depending on the circumstances, yeah, neglect, or if it's really something stupid like they're in getting their hair done, I would say not just neglect, but endangerment.
Okay. Well, what happens if this one kid died because his father, was inside playing on his game system instead of watching his child?
I think that father deserves a death penalty.
Exactly.
Homicide of one kind or another.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course.
Whether according to state laws are a little different on it, but I would think voluntary manslaughter at the minimum.
And
No involuntary, because that's just total negligence.
And this is why this is why parents
to leave the kid in the car, and you had a medical emergency. You're carrying groceries, say. You have a heart attack.
Right.
That's right. Not anything you should be charged for.
But do you think that they should hold the mother accountable for something the father did?
Vinny, I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything.
How do you not hear me?
I hear you.
Vinny said, do you think that the mother should be held?
Don't hear a thing, Vinny.
Maybe she was at work, or
yeah,
the dad was supposed to be watching.
If she was sitting next to him,
Carrie.
yes.
He's in prison. He ought to be in prison.
But I don't think anybody should be that's, if they're not available.
Now, is it my system that's off? Because I don't hear anybody talking. Or am I just running my mouth?
No, we heard you, Ross.
We hear you.
Vinny, do you hear me?
Now I can't hear. Okay, it must be me. Let me go out and come back in.
All right, Ross. Vinny, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Brooke, and Roz.
All right, I hear everybody too, and Ross. That's crazy. I don't know. It's a funky night tonight, man.
But see, this is why Herbert is a good person to ask questions to sometimes, because, like he says, it's the parents' negligence for not knowing how to react to certain situations. You're going to leave your kid in a car on a hot day? You deserve to lose your kid.
Well, that's just stupid,
sense.
Man. That's just a dumb.
Right.
That's just dumb. I mean, you do stuff. It's like, well, if I hung my kid outside of the balcony window and he fell, like, obviously, man, that's an idiot. Like those are the people that
shouldn't have a child.
Right, but they wonder why these people are attacking us Well, it's because of these incidences where kids are actually getting killed.
No, they're attacking us because they're incentivized by
It's
Title
Right.
IV.
it's a lot of both, really.
It is. It is.
They are actually watching your Facebook to see what kind of pictures you are posting. They're monetizing everything that you do.
Yep.
Try it
Not
again.
Can you hear me
monetizing.
now?
No.
Roz, you there?
Ross,
Can you hear us?
Roz. Roz.
Does
Roz.
her Bluetooth hook to something?
Roz.
Who knows sign language?
What is going
yeah,
on?
you hear
there?
all of us. Yep. But yeah, it's ridiculous how they monetize you. They're watching every single account that you have, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. They're watching all your stuff. Matter of fact, I caught one of the workers out there today because I found her on TikTok and she was trying to talk to me. Next minute I know, she was gone.
Just like Brooke. Brooke just went away. That
Now
was
she's
fast
back.
for Brooke. Brooke was wow. We got a lot of GBGBs in here going on tonight, man. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's Friday night.
I don't know what-
CPS is trying to make that extra buck, you know.
Yeah, apparently they're doing something. Ross, can you hear us yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know where Brooke just went.
She's frozen there at the moment.
Yeah, I see
There we
her
go.
off to the side. She's in the same position. No, she's all right. She's a glitch in the matrix, man.
Yeah.
Carrie, I wanted to bring you in, but you know what? With these conditions that we're having now, I don't know if I even want to try. I don't know if it's going to be more of a headache for you or if it's going to be fine if I bring you in.
Gary's running off her phone, so it might work for her.
Let's see what Carrie has to say. Roz is still fighting it. I don't understand why she can't. So I'll tell her we can hear her. We heard you.
You'll call Roz.
So over the weekend, I'm working on this new thing so we can get call-ins on the show.
You're on a PC. It should work then if you're on your PC.
So yeah, we'll try to get call-ins for next week. That'll be cool. Get it. I got an 800 number for us. And hopefully, we can't even get this technology to work right now. So I don't even know if that was.
You don't have a phone? What?
No, her kid comes and tells mom what's going on. That's why she said earlier, you hear screaming in the background. It's not her beating her son. Oh, Ross is calling. I bet it's Herbert calling Ross.
Yep.
Yes, Herbert.
Okay, so we were able to hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, but I can't get the conversation if I don't know what's being said.
I know. But I'm trying to help. What are you looking at on your screen?
Oh no, now we lost Ross.
No, she muted her mic.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. Oh, this is what I was going to show you, Vinny. Anyway, let's show some. I'm going to show you this video here.
The role of an enemy to provide security feedback from that perspective. Let's get right into the video. Step 1. Plan the attack. The Raxus team used readily available tools like maps, DNS, social media, and others to study the target company.
They don't know what happened at the home office.
Here we go.
The state child welfare system. Just this week, the Maine Child Welfare Services Ombudsman Office released its annual report reviewing cases and complaints in the system through last year. The Government Oversight Committee met today in Augusta to review that report and others like it to try to find a path forward. News Center Maine's Caroline LaCour joining us live to explain what was discussed today. Hi, Caroline.
Hey, good evening, Brian. Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth by members of the Government Oversight Committee at today's brainstorming session, but the overarching message is that action needs to be taken now. With around 3 months until the end of this legislative session, time is going to fly by. Now, members today discussed sort of short-term and long-term solutions on what could improve the child welfare system, such as reviewing the statutes, what's working, and what needs to be adjusted. Members are also taking into account former Senator Bill Diamond's recent report, considering recommendations like one that calls for more trainings for judges and the possibility of a separation of departments.
I mean, we heard caseworker after caseworker after caseworker say they don't know what happens at the home office. I don't think a business can function anywhere when the home office isn't involved. And I think that if you just leave it the way it is and create a new director, you've still got the same commissioner, the same head, the same thing. You haven't made a change.
That was Senator Jeff Timberlake, who has also been sort of vocal on the separation of the departments as well. Members also took a peek at the State of Washington's Child and Family Services report from back in 2016 to sort of use it as a blueprint on ideas on how to improve the child welfare system here. The committee will reconvene next Friday. Back to you, Brian.
Caroline LaCour, live in Augusta tonight.
So, yeah, that's just a little insight here. So Maine is not only just leading the way in abuse and neglect and all of this, but they're also leading the way in trying to prove. I mean, the people of Maine are making enough noise and they're making enough headway that they're trying to expose this stuff, and people in every state start taking notes of this stuff and doing the same things. You know, making the reports to your senators and your legislators. This is why I say it's very important for this election coming up. Pay attention to who's in your town, who is, working to support these people, who's working to not support them, where they stand on them, where they don't stand is very important, people, because we're going to be waiting again if we don't get this election right. It's very important. Very, very important.
That's why Roz said last night you need to reach out to your legislative committee. That way they know what's going on and what you see needs to be changed. Oh, I heard you, Herbert.
Where did Herbert come? There he is. He's in. Herbert's here. There he is. Oh, come on.
You didn't mute Herbert, did you? I can't hear you now.
Yeah, you must have muted or something, Herbert. He is saying a lot.
Yeah. Herbert, we can't hear you. There you go. Maybe.
No. And Rosalind can't hear me either.
Now we can hear you.
Rosalind sent me the invite, and that's how I was able to get in.
Yeah, there's something wrong with one of the links, maybe, or something.
I don't know. It seems like everybody but me and you have been booted off and had problems. I don't know what the hell's going on tonight. It's crazy. It's even Brooke got ripped out of here.
Yeah, I seen that she was like gone quick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Vinny. I think we should probably get out while the getting's good.
Well, we still got another 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 10 minutes can be a lifetime. It could be a make or a break sometimes with technology issues.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to get the point across that, if you're fighting CPS out there in the community, you guys really need to start gearing up and talking to your legislative committees. All the committees that run CPS need to know what policies and procedures these people are not using the correct way. It's important to have your voice heard. You have that constitutional right as a U.S. citizen or as a Canadian citizen, for Carrie's point of view. Darren, Carrie said to please check your email tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to check it right now. I'm going to look at that for her so she can verify that I did that for her. Here's another great site too, by the way. There's this one here. For any of you, you will find every bit of information that you need for your states right here on this site here. This site right here gives you everything that you need to find about any bit of anything in your state. It's both for it's for everybody that's involved in these systems.
I hear you, Herbert.
Okay. But you go here.
Now, interesting enough, I just hung up the phone with Rosalind.
Show about abuse, neglect, different statistics that you go through, but it has also, you go to a section of this, it breaks down state by state, the policy manuals, it breaks down everything that goes on with DHS in every state. It breaks everything down. So check out this site, Child Welfare Information Gateway. And this is all the information that you possibly need. It's no fluff in there, as Herbert would call it. This is all just straight up facts and legitimate writings. So check this stuff out.
Tell Rosalind to go back in again because she was able to get me on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. Right. If you could tell Rosalind to go back in again, she may be able to be on. Because she said she was going to go to the YouTube. As soon as we got off the phone, you told me you could hear me. As soon as she hung up, you could hear me. So tell Rosalind to sign back in again. When she's going to show up on YouTube, when she's typing, when you see her typing, then tell her, try it again.
Yeah, because that might have been her problem. She might have just had a sound issue.
No, she checked everything. I was with her on the phone, and we went through a whole checklist. So she checked everything. And then I told her to send me what I've been sending her that Darren has sent me in the past. And she said, okay, she sent it to me, and boom, here I am. Like I'm always.
So it must have been the new links aren't working correctly, Darren.
No, Darren.
Yeah,
Darren,
there was nothing different, you know.
No, it was different, Darren. I sent it to Vinny.
No, I'm saying
Vinny,
what I did, there was nothing different. The way that I set it up, there was nothing different. They must have changed something.
They had to have, because it wasn't the same link.
It was not the same link. I sent it to Vinny. I sent both links to Vinny. I sent Vinny what you sent me today, and I sent Vinny what you have sent me in the past. It's different. And what you sent me in the past is what Rosalind sent me today. And bingo, here I am.
Well, it doesn't work for us, so I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It has nothing to do with me. That's all I'm saying.
Don't send anything to me via the YouTube thing. Send it like you usually do.
I didn't send you anything via YouTube. But why are we talking about this on a live show? We can do this after. This isn't what people want to hear.
About the live show. Go ahead. Let's get the live show going.
But yeah, there's a lot going on that people are not seeing, they're not picking up on. And, you know, even though some debate whether or not they're defunding the money or whatever to different places, they really are. They're not using it for what they're meant to use it for. I know that for a fact.
So how do we get them to use the money the right way?
We have to do it by committees. We have to tell them, you know, in the legislative committee what they're using it for and where it's going. We have to explain to them that they're not following their policies and procedures.
They don't care about girls in this situation.
How do we get to them other than letter? Can we go to their offices, make an appointment?
You can also email them. Their emails are out in the public.
Right, and
public knowledge.
it goes to gatekeepers. They have professional gatekeepers that respond. So how do we get to the people to get them to understand the point?
The only way to do that is go to your state house.
Okay. Then that's what has to be done. You gotta go to the state house.
And or go to your convention of states. That's the only way you're going to get heard. Like
Okay.
I see them post on Facebook all the time. All the legislative committee posts on Facebook all the time up here, and you know, I comment under their stuff, and they actually, one or two of them have liked what I had to say about where CPS is violating their own policy and procedure.
Yes.
So that tells me they've seen it.
They've seen it, but they don't seem to be taking any action.
I mean, they're trying to, and that's why Timberlake is saying that they need to start working on their policies and figuring out what works and what doesn't. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, not following their policies and procedures should be at the top of that list.
It should be. I agree. It should be at the top of the list.
Without them following them policies and procedures, you might as well say screw it, because they're not going to listen.
You got a very good point there, but who would be the overseer of those people?
That would be the ombudsmans, which are throughout the United States. They're different names. They're not always the same name, but they are the overseer committee for CPS or DFS or DHS.
Yeah, the ombudsmans. So I wonder how we can get to them via some type of a letter or something that we'd be able to communicate with them to have them do the proper overseeing.
Them you can email. They actually have a website for them.
The ombudsman is the complaint taker. They're not the overseer. They're the complaint taker. They're the neutral figure that's supposed to be in between the people and the DHS department. The oversight, the government oversight committee are the ones, the legislators themselves are the ones that oversee what goes on there. The ombudsman is the liaison between the people and the DHS department. They're a neutral figure that's supposed to sit there and then decide what is and what isn't. When there's a complaint that comes in about DHS, the government oversight committees are the ones that actually look and make the changes to do things. And the
right, but they answer answer to the ombudsman though. The ombudsman has to answer to the oversight committee.
Of course, they're the liaison. But they're just the complaint taker. That's all they are.
But they're not doing that.
They need to go like these reports that you sent. The oversight committee, Timberlake, all the guys. They're the ones that make the changes.
Yep. But the oversight the ombudsman's isn't giving them the full story, because they're not telling them the actual cases that they're just declining.
That's the thing, man. They're not neutral. And there was only one lady in Maine for the past 3 years that ran it. And I think she only did like 43 cases out of like 500 something complaints that she had.
Yep.
So I think, what was her name? Amy, I believe.
Yeah, Amy. Yep.
Yeah. She's a very kind lady. And when you called to get an appointment with her, it was 3 months out. So half the time your cases were already over with by the time she made a complaint.
Yeah, because they don't care. They're just trying to back CPS. Because I guarantee you that they got them in their pockets too.
Of course they do. Of course they do. They all go to Christmas together.
If that's happening in Maine, is that happening in all states?
It depends, Herbert. It really does. It depends on how everything's written in other states. I mean, that's why I said we got to get on the same page with everyone, and everyone needs to learn their policies and procedures in each state. And they got to know who to contact and figure out that information, because without that information, you're really stuck, because these attorneys they don't give a hoot.
This is why I support the abolishment of everything, man. It needs to be broken down, taken away, and then rebuilt. There's too many broken steps. There's too many missteps. There's too much. There's just too much. There's too much. There shouldn't be 200-page reports from an oversight committee from a established government entity that's, 40 years old.
Right.
Like each state. I mean, I imagine each state is this many pages, if not more. There's just too much breakdown in this system that it doesn't work. Kids that need help aren't getting help. Families that don't need to be broken apart are getting ripped apart on a daily basis. A child a minute in this country. This is a problem. You can't go back and reverse this. There's just no way. There's absolutely no way how would you fix this?
You can't.
Like you said, they're not even following their own rules, for God. I bet you half of those caseworkers, if you even gave them a questionnaire, I bet you they don't even know half their rules or procedures or any of that policy stuff. They probably know none of it. I'm sure we
Some of them,
probably know more than they do.
the worst part is some of them aren't even licensed.
Yeah, that's another thing. So there's just so many problems. There's just so many problems.
And the judges, they don't even hold up to their oaths of office.
Yep. And then how do you fix that?
That's when you gotta go to your legislative committee and have them disbarred from even being on that bench.
But then they fall under judicial immunity. So
No. They actually, in Maine, for our state anyways, there is a formal complaint, and it's right on the Maine website, on Maine.gov, that you can file against a judge, and you have to send it into them. But the committee that runs the judges up here, they will look into it. It may take 2 or 3 months, but they do look into it.
Yeah, they're run by the bar. And what's funny about that is I went and made my complaint against the attorney general that prosecuted us. And you know who ran that committee?
The
That attorney
AGA.
general.
Yep.
Yeah, that attorney general did. She was the head of the committee, so that went well for me.
That's why you got to go outside the box on that part. You have to find someone higher than her in the AGA office.
Well, it wouldn't matter because that was in the complaint sector. That was in the bar association.
So you go above her, or whoever is in the bar. I mean, you could go with the ASU.
If you're going to see the overseers, then who's above the overseers?
The overseer of the committees, the ones above them is Mills.
So it all goes, and I don't know if Mills has anything to do with the bar association, but yeah, it goes back to the governor. Absolutely. Yep. So this all goes to the governors. That's where the weakest link is. That's where the link is. But they should be. But I don't understand why no one holds them responsible at all, because all of these people are appointed by the governor. All these failures have to be pointed back at her.
Right, and they don't do anything about it, and they've let her get away with it for years.
Every governor in every state. I mean, listen, it's not a far stretch to say that Child Protective Services funds the state's economies.
Oh, they do.
I mean, if you want to balance
in
budget,
one way or another.
More kids, and then here they go, balance the budget.
Yeah,
it's easy to throw a couple $1 in the till when you got Title IV funding come flowing in. Go grab a couple handfuls of kids, and all of a sudden we got a refund check.
Professional Phil here. Yep.
Hey, Darren, you got the professor. Professor Phil is on.
Yeah, there's a professor. I got to call him today.
You're going to call the professor?
I got to call him tonight. Yeah, it's Friday night, like I told him.
How we doing, Phil?
So Phil understands that you're going to call him tonight.
Yeah, I think he understood that before. I told him I'd call him Friday night. So, anyway.
Yeah, we're about close to time anyways.
Yep. Sure is. Anywho. All right. Last word. Go for it.
Yeah, he said didn't get the link, but I was going to come. So.
Who said that, Professor?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he didn't get the link.
Herbert, what's your last words for tonight?
Last words for Herbert is that just be careful what you do with your children. Use common sense. Stay off the target of CPS. And just think before you do things, because people are watching you and they will report you to the authorities or to CPS.
And then my last words for all of you viewers out there tonight is this. Don't let CPS in your house. Hate your caseworker. And follow to the T what you're doing, because if you don't and you mess up just once, you got CPS looking in your direction.
That's a good one. And by the way, the professor said that grants are going up 31% this year for child support and advocate services. What does that mean?
That's not good. That's not really good at all.
That grants are going up 31% this year for child support.
Means they'll be making more money.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Advocate services going up 31%, so that could be a good thing for people getting in the courts.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. It's been a good day, good night, good week. Do everything you can to keep CPS out of your house. I'm the CPS Punisher. We're out of here.